Welcome to the deep dive.
Hi there.
So, for you, our listener, we're jumping into, well, a pretty common situation today.
Very common.
That whole tricky space where love and family kind of collide.
Right. The in-laws, the extended family opinions.
Mm-hmm.
It can get complicated.
Totally. You shared some really interesting sources with us, and one particularly caught our eye. In-laws and outbursts, when love meets family drama.
Yeah, that title says a lot.
It really does. So our mission here is to unpack that. How do you navigate all those dynamics? How do you keep your relationships solid when you've got all this external pressure?
It's about protecting that core bond, isn't it?
Exactly. Let's start right at the beginning. That first meeting with the partner's family. We've all been there, right?
Oh, yeah. The meet the parents moment.
It feels less like a casual dinner and more like, I don't know, an interrogation.
Definitely. You feel like you're suddenly on trial.
Yeah. And the questions start flying, don't they? So
Yeah.
Where do you work? What about your parents? What do they do?
And the source material had that brilliant one. Do you believe in ironed shirts?
I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
It's like you're applying for a position, not joining a family.
It really sets up this pressure cooker situation right away.
Yeah.
And you often get that vibe, sometimes unsaid, sometimes not.
What, that no one's good enough for my baby vibe?
Exactly that. No one will ever be good enough for my son or daughter. Meanwhile, you're just thinking, hey, I just love this person. I'm not trying to, run off with the family silver.
Right. It puts you on the defensive immediately.
It does.
Digging into this one bit from the source, it stuck with me. It said, some relationships don't fail due to a lack of love,
Okay.
but from aunties who ask too many questions and never bring chapati.
Ha. That's incredibly specific, but you get the point, right?
Totally. The chapati might be a detail, but that dynamic of intrusive family members asking endless questions, that's universal.
It really is. And that leads us straight into the core problem, doesn't it?
The big one. Your family doesn't like your partner. Yeah. Or maybe they don't approve. So who comes first?
It's a fundamental conflict.
And the sources are really clear on this, aren't they? The partner has to step up.
Absolutely non-negotiable. They have to defend their significant other. You can't have one person just catching strays, taking all the hits.
Yeah, getting criticized at every single family gathering.
Right. While the other partner is just chewing rice in silence.
Oh, that image is powerful.
Yeah.
Because the silence isn't neutral, is it?
Not at all. The source nails it, that silence. It's part of the problem. It basically tells the family, yeah, go ahead. It's fine.
It's such a disconnect. How can you say, I love you 1 minute, and then the next, you're letting your cousin basically roast them like it's some kind of comedy show?
It doesn't add up. You can't do that.
Yeah,
It makes you question the whole foundation.
It really does. And it makes you wonder, the source asks, why do some people let their mama pick their partner like it's a presidential election?
Yeah, where's the individual choice in that? Your relationship should be your choice, your commitment.
It seems obvious, but clearly it's a struggle.
And sometimes the family's reasons are so vague.
Tell me about it. It's not concrete. It's just, I don't like their spirit or their aura.
Right, and the source had that funny but insightful example. Maybe that off aura is just because they wore, what was it? A crop top to Sunday lunch.
Exactly. And you think, okay, first, maybe it's just fashion. And second, as the source cheekily added, what's wrong with little belly skin, huh? Jesus wore robes.
It perfectly highlights how subjective and, frankly, sometimes ridiculous these judgments can be.
It's not about real character flaws. It's about personal taste or minor perceived infractions.
Which really shouldn't be grounds for vetoing someone's partner.
Okay, so this brings us to a really key idea from the sources. Becoming a unit.
When you commit, whether it's marriage or just a serious partnership, you become a team, you two.
And the message is pretty strong. The family has to respect that new unit.
They have to. Or, as the source bluntly puts it, they need to back off.
It sounds harsh, maybe, but it's about survival of the relationship sometimes.
And it's about boundaries. The sources define these really well, actually.
Yeah, I like that definition.
Yeah.
It's not about disrespecting your family.
No, not at all. It's like putting up emotional fences.
To keep the nosy goats out. That's such a great image.
Isn't it? It's about protecting your shared space, your emotional well-being as a couple, keeping interference out.
So what about that common phrase, when someone does something hurtful and the partner just says, oh, that's just how my mom is?
Yes. The classic excuse.
The sources say that's exactly where the trouble starts, right? Just accepting it.
Precisely, because accepting it means you're not setting a limit. You're basically saying that behavior is okay, even if it hurts your partner.
You're prioritizing keeping the peace with mom over protecting your partner's feelings.
Exactly. And that normalizes the bad behavior, lets it continue, and it just erodes the trust and safety within the couple, within that new unit. You're telling your partner their feelings don't matter as much.
Which is incredibly damaging long term.
Absolutely.
Okay, so for you listening, dealing with this kind of thing, what can you actually do? The sources had some really practical strategies. Stuff you can use without, starting World War III.
Right. First big one. Set boundaries early.
Early is key.
Very key. The material really stresses this. Patterns get set fast. Trying to change things 5 years down the line, much, much harder.
Makes sense. Get the expectations right from the start. What else?
Don't overshare your relationship problems with your family.
Keep the fights private. Why is that so important?
Well, think about it. If you run to your mom or dad every time you and your partner argue.
They only get one side of the story.
Exactly. And it gives them ammunition, doesn't it? It invites them in. It makes them feel like they have a right to comment or, worse, take sides.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Your fights are yours to resolve, not family gossip fodder.
It protects your unity, which leads to the next point. Unite in public.
Present that united front, even if you were just arguing in the car on the way over.
Especially then, maybe. Look, you can disagree privately, that's normal, but in front of the family, you back each other up. You're a team.
What does that signal to the family?
It signals there's no weakness here. There's no gap they can exploit, no wedge they can drive between you. It's a subtle but powerful defense. It discourages interference.
Okay, got it. United front. And then there's that last piece of advice, the humorous one.
Yes. Keep holidays short.
And prayers long.
It's funny, but it's practical, right?
Totally. Manage your exposure to the stressful situations.
Be strategic. Show up. Be respectful. Engage. But don't stay for the whole 7-course drama buffet if you know it's going to be draining or end in conflict.
Limit the time. Limit the potential for friction. And the prayers part.
That's about finding your own inner calm, I think. Your strength to navigate it without losing it. Whatever that means for you. Meditation, deep breaths, actual prayer.
Gotcha. Find your zen before you walk in the door.
Basically, yeah.
So if we pull all this together, what's the main takeaway here?
I think it's pretty clear. In-laws, family.
Yeah.
They don't have to be the enemy.
Right.
But they absolutely do not get to run your love life. You run your love life.
That's a really crucial distinction for any couple to hold on to.
And it raises that tough question, What happens if you don't protect your partner? What's the cost of just letting things slide?
The source material was pretty blunt about that, wasn't it?
Very. It said if your partner is constantly dodging bullets from your fam, eventually,
They're gonna leave.
they'll walk away from the war zone. Because why wouldn't they? Your silence, your inaction, it makes you complicit in the attack.
That's a heavy thought, but probably true for many. It really puts the responsibility back on the partner whose family it is.
It has to.
And maybe the most fundamental truth in all of this, something we really need to underscore for you, the listener.
What's that?
Your partner chose you. You chose your partner.
Your family didn't.
Exactly. They didn't choose your partner.
Yeah.
You did. So the goal isn't necessarily winning their approval.
No, the goal is peace. Fight for peace, not approval. Peace within your relationship, your unit.
Protecting that bond above chasing acceptance from people who might never give it.
That's the core of it.
So we're wrapping up here, but there's one last thought from the source. It's kind of a provocative one to leave you with.
Okay.
It touches on that extreme idea, like maybe just eloping is the answer.
The nuclear option.
Right. But it says the real wisdom isn't necessarily running away. It's in the ability to, quote, love out loud, but protect your person in silence and in shade.
Love out loud, protect in silence and shade.
Yeah. Something to think about, isn't it?
Yeah.
That balance between showing your love publicly.
And fiercely, maybe even quietly, defending your partner and your relationship behind the scenes. Protecting that space.
Exactly. What does that protection look like for you? Worth considering.